And why I am telling you this, why I have brought this particular slide in front is how we can use these enablers, the transformers, in our day-to-day life in providing a better solution for delivering of services to the citizen. How technology can act as an enabler, how technology can act as a transformer for delivering a better service to the citizen. For that, we have this enabler. Now, as Mr. Koshi had said that he was referring to Steve Jobs, one of the presentation, that why the user interface of Apple was designed and what was the thought process, the philosophy behind it. In fact, while designing a website for the public at large, it has to be, it has to cater to the very basic information that any Tom, Dick and Harry or any layman can understand. That is the very basic thing. I mean, we can make a very jazzy website, but then that does not cater to the need of the hour. So a website that can give the basic information in order to provide the public with access to the information. Now, the second point is interactive. How interactive it is. I have a website. I have put up a website. I have done kind of an inauguration and things like that with very much fanfare. But then, does it allow the public at large or the citizens for whom it is intended to interact with that? Unless and until there is an interactive part of it, I don't think so. It will be any success. Users should be able to contact the agencies, to the delivery departments with whom they want to, and unless and until they are able to do so, I think it will just not simply succeed. Transaction, yes. Now, most of you, I suppose all of you must have heard about the e-biz thing, where I mean, if I want to go up and start off with a business, then I have to interact with something around between 26 to 29 departments, make payments to all these various departments. What I do is I end up making individual payments to each and every department. So the transaction part. Now, along with transaction, I'll just club up the transformation part. Presently, we don't have any kind of a system where we can club up all these 26 various modes of payments that we need to do, or the 29 various payments that we need to do. We club it, have one single payment gateway. So the customer or the citizen or the business houses who is intending to start off with a business selects all the various payments that he or she has to make, or the house has to make. That gets consolidated, goes out through the payment gateway channel. The individual concerned departments get their notification, and we bring in the mobile technology in between, and the house who is making the payment also gets the acknowledgement that okay, these payments have been made and this is the acknowledgement receipts and things like that. So along with the transactional element, we should also bring in the transformational element, which some of our speakers had already mentioned, that there should be an element of business process reengineering or the government process reengineering built into delivering of a better service to the citizens. This is the Gartner, I mean, what we just spoke in a different way. I won't take much time, I'll just move on to the next. Now, while talking about technology, I think ePraman, the National E-Authentication Framework, does provide with a very good thing, that is a single sign-on. I remember it was, I think, some 8 years back when Oracle had come up with Oracle 9.9, and I was working with it. They had brought in this concept of single sign-on. So we were doing this project for one of the major hospitals of Delhi, and we had to install the database separate, the application layer separate, and the user interface on different machines. So there I first came across this concept of single sign-on. At that point of time, it was quite difficult for me to understand and to assimilate what is the single sign-on. But today, I mean, after all these years, I have worked with quite a few softwares. But today, I can really appreciate how single sign-on can be such a beautiful thing as far as providing authentication to a citizen, a very simple citizen who is the last mile citizen residing in one of the remote villages of this country, and where CAC is providing some kind of a support. He or she just signs in for one single purpose: access the service from a particular department. Now, while accessing this service from a particular department, at the very first instance, his or her credentials gets validated, gets authenticated. And from that point onward, the going gets smooth. Because he has already been validated, he has already been authenticated. So he is now able to access information from first, second, third department, any number of department that he or she wants to access the information. So that is why I have specifically brought in this, because this national e-authentication framework within its own purview, I think it's bringing quite a few things. Mobile also it is trying to bring in, and as it has been pointed out about the cloud. So coming on to this next slide, I have just categorized few things like accessing the procedures, which is acting as an enabler service. I'll just take another minute. Accessing procedures as enabling service forms. Here authentication framework can come into play. We can have Aadhaar integration, which is we can have biometric, which anyway includes the biometric integration. Just those three numbers, last three numbers, or those square digits. It's not really possible for everybody to remember all those square digits. Submission of forms. That is again, how latest software technologies, Java technology, or for that matter Microsoft-based technology, how they can really help in submitting forms in a much more seamless manner without any delay factor in it. Payment gateway services, rather than having those payment gateway services functioning in a silo mode, if we can have a consolidated payment gateway services, it can really help the citizen who intends to access some kind of a service. Single visit, which I just now discussed, that is the e-viz thing. Then the various category of services, anyway we all know, elimination of services, which yesterday and today also Sri Rajesh Agarwal ji had mentioned in one of his talks. E-repositories, again this has been talked about, that is storage of locating all my e-certificates, all the certificates, digital signed certificates at a singular place. Maybe the state might have some kind of a policy to maintain its continuity or validating it over a period of time. Meghraj, as you know, has recently been launched, and the services, whether it is, we used to know about those three services: infrastructure, platform, and software. The fourth aspect to it, the fourth dimension is storage as a service. So we can use this Meghraj, or the Government of India Cloud can come in a much better way, where we can also use the rapid replication method, or rather than reinventing the wheel for a particular service, whereas it has already been developed, some kind of software has already been developed. Those softwares can be put up, can be clubbed up in a cloud, and then it can be used. And last but not the least, the mobile governance, which is anyways the talk of the time. And quite a few of the places they are using it. Sugarcane Information System by Uttar Pradesh did a major thing with mobile governance. Not exactly mobile governance, but using the concept of mobile governance, using the concept of mobility, how they have really helped the farmers and weeding out corruption to a certain extent. So I think with that, thank the organizers for giving me this time to stand in front and speak. Thank you. Thank you, sir.